Bad Hombres Headed South. Jason just left the campsite. His family's in Florida, and we hope that they're doing okay with the hurricane situation down there. So as he's gone by, I've decided to first of all welcome you to Gold Lake. We did some incredible riding yesterday, very, very technically challenging stuff. But we found this campsite, and it is just terrific. The lake is awesome. I've been here several times, and I thought I'd do a couple of reviews today since it's morning, and one of them is one of my favorite things I take on adventures, and it's not a must-have because you can live without coffee, it turns out, but it's this Wakako MinPresso, and I got this on Amazon. If you could see it there, I'll put a link on the description of the video down the bottom, and the prices, etc. But if you like to drink espresso, this is very good. It's basically 100% mechanical, and I'm going to show you how to use it and pros and cons about it. Thanks. Let's get this started. So what you need is boiling water, and you can do that in a variety of ways. I've got my BioLo camp stove. This is a bit of an overkill, and it does take a lot of space. I brought this on the adventure usually when I want to grill corn or sausages or something, because I do have the grill part that goes on top, and you can just use sticks and stuff, although their fuel is actually pretty good and smoke free. So this here I don't take regular adventures, but it's more of a treat. What I do take though is something I got for my 21st birthday, which was incredible, and that is a Trangia set, which is an alcohol burner. Alcohol burners are very, very easy to use, very compact. Some people think too simple, and so they walk away from them, but it is just terrific. And so what I'm going to do is just I've already put some denatured alcohol in here from my little flask, and then all we need is to light that up. I could use a flint that I've got, or just some regular matches, and the trick here is to just get it going. And it's hard to see the flame at the beginning, especially in a cold morning like today, but you could feel it and it's there. Look, there are many reviews on these stoves, so I encourage you to see them. I'll put some links onto some of my favorite reviews on these stoves. Very popular in Scandinavia, obviously, which is where they're from, but also super light and compact, and they're impossible to break. So if you're on a multi-day journey or multi-week, month, whatever, the only thing is you need to have fuel. And so denatured alcohol goes by several different names in different countries, so I'd encourage you to look that up before you take off. So we're going to boil this water, which should take a couple of minutes. I'm not going to time it or do any crazy record thing, but once that's boiling, we're going to add water to our little mini espresso, and we'll do a bit of a close-up so you guys can check out and see how the water is starting to boil a little bit. But this coffee maker basically has 3 sections, and we're going to go through that. The bottom section is where the coffee comes out of, and it's very noticeable because it has a tiny little hole, if you could see there. The opposite section is where you actually put the water, and then the section in the middle is where the pumping begins. And so you press this, you turn this particular knob, and it pumps up, and you can see it has a pump there. Very sturdy. I've used this for about a year now and haven't had any issues. I think the key is just to keep it clean once you've used it, like most equipment. So if we unscrew the back, it comes with a little measuring cup, which is not needed, but very, very handy and useful, and a compartment where the water goes in. And then on the other side, if you screw that also, it actually comes with its own espresso cup, which is pretty cool, so we'll use that. And then this area here is where you load the coffee. So if we unscrew this guy, it has a section that has a sieve, and it also has a section where the coffee would go, so that's where the pod. Now you can get these in 2 versions. You can get this in a version that does ground coffee, or you can get this in a version that does the pods, and there's different size pods. I'm not really familiar with them. I obviously sprung for the one that uses just ground coffee. That way you could get it anywhere. What I haven't done is ground coffee on site, so what I typically do is buy ground coffee, or I grind it at home and bring it in a Ziploc bag. So what we do is we load this bad boy here with some ground coffee. And how fine the ground, usually an espresso blend will be fine, that you either use at home, or just ask where you buy your coffee, or even if you go to a grocery store, you can buy beans, and they typically have a grinding machine, and there's different settings on there. Just go for the stovetop ground coffee for espresso. That tends to be the right amount of coarseness, which is actually fine for espresso. That's what you want. So what I do is I roughly just fill that up. I clean the edge, because obviously this thing works on pressure, and you want to be able to make some good seals. And then what I do is I connect these two, and again, look, there's great instructions that come with this, so I'm not going to go over it in too much detail, but it's very self-explanatory. I would encourage you, again, just like most equipment for camping that you buy, is try it at home. Try it at home once or twice just to get the hang of it. Last thing you're going to be doing is opening up a 48-page manual trying to figure out how to make coffee in the morning. That's probably not a good use of your time, or stress elements that could pile up very quickly at a campsite. Alright, so this is beating, it's going, and we are going to fill the big part with water, and it's just ready right now, so we'll do that. And there's a line here so that you don't go over it, and then again you just screw that on, and then you're good to go. So what you do is you turn it upside down, and you give it a couple of pumps, and it'll prime, and then you'll feel some real resistance. And for those of you who are espresso aficionados, you know that it's all about pressure. You need, I think it's either 7 or 14 psi, I can never remember. So if you know what the right pressure for espresso is, put it on the link description, or just comment, and you'll see that it takes a bit of work, to be honest, but after about, I'm going to say between a dozen and 2 dozen, you're done, and that's it. And what you've got is an espresso with lovely crema, as you can see there, which is what you want in an espresso. Now my water's completely getting out of hand, so I'm gonna just put that aside and slow the burn down with the little cover, and I'm gonna enjoy this coffee and fry some eggs. And Jason's not here. I was really wanting to get him to try this. He's never eaten Spam, can you believe that? Which is great. So the egg's almost ready. Coffee's good. So we've got the Spam going, the eggs, coffee's almost finished, because I've been sipping on that as the Spam's kicking in. And you probably want to know at this point, what are the pros and cons of this? Well, here's the deal. Like I said, a lot of people use French press, a lot of people use filter paper or things like that on trips. For me, it's just easier to carry something this big. It's not heavy. The Wakako, that's probably the only thing I would say is, dudes, you got to get a better name for this. It's got to have a better name. And obviously the shape going through customs is going to present some interesting conversations, but you know, and the fact that it's a pump on the end. So MinPresso GA, I think this is a European product if I'm not wrong. It is made in China though, but I don't go on adventures without this. Even if I know I'm going to be having breakfast at cool places, at least I know that if I get stuck somewhere, I can make a cup of coffee. I'm not going to be grouchy for the rest of the day. Or my fellow riders who are also caffeine dependent. Anyways, check it out, link on the description. It's an Amazon buy, that's where I got mine from, and I'm going to eat that before it burns, and have a good